You know, A24 is really known for obscure and weird movies, and here we have a crime drama thriller film called Sharper, which is now premiering on Apple Plus. But is it worth your time? Well, let's discuss it. Motivations are suspect, and expectations are turned chaos as a con artist takes on Manhattan billionaires. The film stars Julianne Moore, Sebastian Stan, Justice Smith, Briana Middleton, John Lithgow, Darren Goldstein, and Philip Johnson Richardson, and was directed by Benjamin Caron, who's more known for TV series like The Crown and Andor. I never watched a trailer for this film. Obviously, it's an A24 film, so I'm going to check it out. Saw that it was on Apple Plus. Julianne Moore, Sebastian Stan. I always like them in films, and they always do a really good job. So I was really drawn into this film by the cast alone. And I can say that this plot, it really does provide a lot of different twists in here, and it really engages you with what is going on in the different stories that are actually unfolding on here, because the way that this film actually unfolds is it's told in chapters. It's told in different names of the characters. So for instance, instead of having part 1, part 2, all that kind of jazz into the film, it's told in the way of different names. The film starts off with this one character that works at a bookstore, and he meets this girl, and it's kind of like your typical kind of romance kind of setup where somebody falls in love and they really like somebody and they're starting to know somebody, and then this said girl gets into trouble and he helps her out, and then she disappears. And that's where this film really starts off, and these different characters, they will be later used on into connecting of other stories throughout the film with a lot of different twists and turns. The film wants you to peel back all these different layers that it is putting across on the audience here, and the film is told completely out of order, so you're guessing and trying to organize all the different events that are happening and these tie-ins with these different characters that they throw on screen. Even though we have all these different characters on screen, you're legitimately trying to figure out who's telling the truth and who's not, who's being genuine and who's not, and who's conning who and who is not. Character-wise, I felt that they were pretty much developed. However, I can see some of the audience members not really liking these characters, mainly because there isn't really a clear-cut person to root for. It's not like you have a hero and a villain. However, the different character perspectives, it's building blocks to showing the next reveal, and the film, it never feels convoluted or have any left field kind of imagery or different plot points that would really get you off track and really get you scratching your head. I feel like it's very much on board with trying to gather the audience and feel like you're gathering these clues and feel like you're actually a part of the story and feel like you actually are on track of what is going on, and you don't feel like you're just out there in left field just thinking what the hell is going on. It had a very strong wrap up, and I felt that they really much developed the end of this wrap up and made it really easy to understand the details and what was going on. However, I can see some people thinking when this reveal actually comes about that they could be scratching their head a little bit and thinking, well, how did this person do this and do that? So I can see where there could be some kind of confusion. However, I think overall that this film has some really great acting and some pretty good performances. And I think overall they did a really good job of putting this film together. Although I would say in a negative sense, I wish that certain stories were stretched out a little bit more. It felt a little bit that the movie was rushed a little bit, and I felt that the runtime, it could have went a little bit further. This is a film that has some pretty good acting, a pretty good story that never really gets too out there, and I think it's very much easy to focus on the story regardless of the fact that it is out of order. I think it's something that you can really piece together rather easily, and by the end you should be pretty satisfied with how this film comes about and what they were trying to do all along with this film. As far as the score for this film, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I would say right now, with all the films that I've watched this year, this would be my #1 film of the year. And that's really not saying a whole lot, mainly because I haven't seen a lot of good films this year. But I would say so far, this is one of the best films that I've seen so far in the year. And this director, for really being his first film, I would say, because most of his movies, he's had some TV movies and he's done some series, but he really hasn't done an actual movie. So this was pretty good for a first-time director. And overall, I thought that the story was very engaging, and I had a pretty good time with this film. But let me know in the comments, are you going to check out this film? If you have checked out this film, let me know what you thought about it. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys on my next review.